This is how to make a hazelnut or chocolate twist by Penina Taylor. What you'll need is a roll of puff pastry or any other kind of homemade dough. It can be bread dough, it could be pizza dough, it could be pretzel dough. It can really be any kind of dough that you would like. It can be less sweet or more sweet, but you want it to be of a consistency that you'll be able to twist it, which is what we're going to be doing at the end of this demonstration. The first thing you're going to do if you bought a prepared puff pastry roll is you want to defrost it and then you want to roll it out. If you are making your own dough, what you'll need to do is roll it out relatively thin. Then you need to choose a bowl of the appropriate size. In this case I chose a bowl which is the height of the pastry roll just for ease and to be able to maximize the dough and have as little waste as possible. If you're using a homemade dough, then obviously you can choose whatever bowl size suits you for this project. So now you want to roll out your dough and you want to make it as thin as possible. Then you're going to take your glass bowl, turn it upside down, and place it on the dough as close to the edges as possible so that you have as little waste as possible. Taking a sharp-edged knife with a point, you're going to go around the glass bowl, cutting the dough in a circle. We're going to do this 3 times. Now you're going to want to use a baking pan that is large enough to be able to hold the bowl that you're using for your pattern, for your circle, for your pastry. Now preferably a pizza pan would be the best because it's going to be round. If you're using a smaller bowl, then you may be able to use a cookie sheet or something like that. Line the cookie sheet or the pizza pan with baking parchment paper and place your first disc of pastry in the center of the pan. Now take your spread and spread the top of the first piece of pastry with whatever spread you're using, whether it's chocolate or hazelnut. I'm assuming you could probably use other types as well. You could probably use a caramel sauce. I don't know how they bake up, but as long as it's something that's not going to go all runny on you after you bake while it's baking. After you've spread the first layer, you repeat the first step. Roll out some more dough, place a bowl upside down on top of the dough, cut out around the bowl, take your circle and place it very carefully on top of the original layer which had the spread on it. Now you're going to repeat the next step and you're going to spread another layer of spread on top of the second piece of pastry. We do this one more time. We lay out the dough or roll out the dough, place the upside down bowl onto the dough, cut out a circle and place that on top of the other 2 layers that you have already done. Now we're not going to slice all the way across the dough like we do with a pizza. So you need to take a cup, a small cup, and place it in the center of the bowl, pressing down just hard enough so that you can actually see an indentation in the center of your pastry circle. Remove the cup and you're going to slice 16 slices into the dough, starting from the edge of the cup indentation in the center. In order to make the cuts even, you'll want to do 1 cut first and then across from it. And then you want to cut at a 45-degree angle from each of those so that you end up with the pastry evenly divided into 4 pieces and then 8 pieces and then 16 pieces. Once you've got all of your cuts, just go around one more time and make sure that they're all the way through, because if you don't cut the pastry all the way through, you're going to have an absolute mess when you pick up the edge to try to twist it. Once you have all of your cuts in place, take 2 adjacent slices and gently twist them towards each other, tucking under the end of the dough so that it looks nice and neat. Now you're going to do this with every pair of slices going all the way around until you have all of the slices paired off and twisted towards each other. And this is what it will look like when you have finished all the twisting. Now you can just take the pastry at this point and stick it in the oven, especially if you are vegan or allergic to eggs or don't want any additional sugar. You could just bake it like this. It won't look quite the same, but it certainly will taste very yummy. If you don't have issues with that, one of the things that you can do is you can take an egg and you can egg the pastry so that it will come out with a slightly shiny surface. And then what I've done in this particular demonstration is I've taken cinnamon sugar and I've sprinkled it all over the top. You can use cinnamon sugar, you can use plain sugar, you can use no sugar at all. The preference is, of course, to use organic cane sugar. And then you're going to stick it in a 350 degree Fahrenheit or 180 approximately degrees Celsius oven and bake for about 25 minutes or until golden brown. Obviously the time is going to vary depending on your oven. When it's done, take it out and let it cool. Then you can cover it with plastic wrap, and it's to be served cold. The way that I slice it is I slice each of the twists. So I have 16 twists, and then I take the center piece and I cut that into 4 pieces, and that's how I serve it. Thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy your dessert.